All right, get ready because we're about to take a deep dive into something kind of unexpected.
Unexpectedly fascinating or unexpected in like, ew kind of way?
Uh-huh. Well, maybe a little bit of both. We're talking ancient Greek hygiene.
Ooh,
You
interesting.
might think it's going to be, I don't know, kind of boring, but trust me, this is a fascinating topic.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Ancient Greece hygiene, what's the scoop?
Well, let's just say the ancient Greeks had a pretty interesting sense of humor when it came to taking care of business.
Taking care of business like their bathroom habits.
Exactly. What they used for, shall we say, toilet paper. And let me tell you, it's not what you'd expect.
Okay, now I'm really curious. Lay it on me. What did they use?
I know, right? It's one of those things you never really think about. But when you do, it's like, wait a minute, what did people do back then?
Yeah, like before Charmin was a thing.
Exactly. So what's fascinating about this is how it challenges our perceptions of ancient civilizations.
Totally. We tend to see them through this lens of, philosophy, art, architecture, all very serious stuff.
Right, like these super advanced, almost superhuman figures.
Yeah. But this discovery, what they use for toilet paper, it gives us a glimpse into their daily lives.
It's like a little window into their world, showing that they were real people, just like us, with everyday needs.
Exactly. And maybe a sense of humor that's a little different from what we might expect.
So are you picturing maybe like scrolls? Or maybe they used leaves, something like that?
That's what I would guessed. Seems kind of logical, right?
Nope. Prepare to be surprised. The ancient Greeks used stones.
Stones, like rocks.
Yeah. Specifically smooth stones called Pessoi.
Pessoi. Okay. Interesting. I mean, I guess when you gotta go, right?
Well, yeah. But here's where it gets really interesting. It wasn't just any old stone.
Oh, there's more to the story. I should have known. Okay, tell me, what else is there about these Pessoi?
Yet this, archaeologists have found these Pessoi with inscriptions on them. And you want to know what those inscriptions were?
I'm on the edge of my seat here. Tell
Yeah.
me. What kind of inscriptions?
The names of their enemies.
No way. Really? They used stones with their enemies' names on them, like as toilet paper.
That's what it looks like. Can you imagine? It's
Oh,
like the ultimate ancient Greek diss.
wow. Talk about adding insult to injury. That's pretty savage.
I know, right? It's wild. Makes you wonder if they carried around a little pouch of these stones, just in case they needed to.
Uh-huh. Right. Like a little disc kit for those everyday annoyances. Oh, that guy cut me off in the chariot lane. Time for the Pessoi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But seriously, this tells us so much about them. Like, it shows they had a playful side.
Yeah. A satirical side, even.
Right.
Not just all serious philosophy all the time.
Right. And it also suggests that they were comfortable with humor, even in unexpected places.
Totally. It definitely challenges the image we have of them as solely focused on, high-minded stuff.
Right. It makes them seem a lot more human, a lot more relatable.
Totally agree. So, okay, we know they use these Pessoi stones, sometimes with names on them. But, like, how common was this? Was this everyone doing this or just a few pranksters?
That's the question, isn't it? It makes you wonder what else they might have used these stones for, too. Were there playful doodles on some of them?
Uh-huh, like ancient Greek memes carved onto rocks. That'd be amazing.
Right. Or was it just for, like, really annoying rivals? So many questions.
I know. It really makes you think about those little details of everyday life in ancient Greece. Like, what were their social customs around this?
Right. Were there rules about who you could put on a Pessoi? Or was it anything goes?
And what about the hygiene practices in general? Did they have designated areas for this? Was it a big deal?
Yeah, was this something people talked about openly? Or was it more private? Man, so many questions.
Absolutely. And it all ties back to their understanding of humor, too, what they found funny, what they considered offensive. It's a whole different cultural context.
It really makes you realize that even though we call it ancient history, it wasn't just stuck in the past. These were real people living their lives, and we're just getting these little glimpses into their world.
Right. And these glimpses can be so surprising. It reminds us that history is full of these little twists and turns, these unexpected details that make the past come alive.
Exactly. So the next time you reach for the toilet paper, think about those ancient Greeks and their, well, let's just say creative approach.
Creative and maybe a little bit tricky.
Definitely cheeky.
Uh,
And who knows, maybe it'll make you appreciate modern plumbing a little bit more.
Absolutely. But even more than that, it reminds us that even in something as, well, as basic as hygiene, we can find these connections to the past.
It's like these little everyday things can teach us so much about history, about different cultures, and about what it means to be human.
Totally agree. It's all about making those connections, seeing the humanity in history, and maybe having a little laugh along the way. What do you think? What does this whole Pessoi thing tell you about the ancient Greeks?
Well, for me, it definitely makes them seem a lot less intimidating and a lot more, well, real. And it makes me wonder what future archaeologists will think about our bathroom habits. What do they say about us when they dig up our,
Haha, right. Maybe they'll find our fossilized smartphones and be like, what on earth were these people doing?
Exactly. It just goes to show that even the most mundane things can become these fascinating historical artifacts.
Totally. It's all about perspective, right? What seems normal to us now might be totally bizarre to someone 1,000 years from now.
Food for thought. Well, on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into ancient Greek hygiene. Until next time.
Thanks for listening.